If you're a gamer on the internet, odds are you've heard of a little indie game called Undertale. Everyone seems to love this game, but what exactly is so great about it? Well, that, my friend, is exactly the question I hope to answer. Let's dive right in. Part 1. Nostalgia. So right off the bat, it's not hard to see why people were initially attracted to this game. Everything from its art, to its soundtrack, to its gameplay seems specifically designed to appeal to the current wave of nostalgia sweeping gamer culture. And indeed, the game does a great job evoking classic RPGs like Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy, and Earthbound. But beyond that, Undertale actually expands and improves upon the mechanics of these old games. How so? Well, as most of you probably know, those old school RPGs were turn-based, and basically boiled down to taking turns hitting each other with sticks. What Undertale adds is a little bullet hell-esque minigame that allows you to avoid enemy damage on their turn. This seemingly minor addition makes combat infinitely more engaging, and makes it feel like you are doing more than just navigating a menu to victory. On top of this, Undertale added the Act option, which turns attacking into a sort of puzzle where you have to figure out what each enemy wants and do your best to make them happy. Sometimes this is as simple as flattering them with compliments, but other times it can be a multi-part process, requiring you to laugh at horrible snow puns. This system allows you to learn more about the characters through combat, and helps give life to even the most minor enemy. Add on top of this a handful of intense boss fights that introduce new mechanics, like a shield to block projectiles, or a gravity effect that requires you to jump over obstacles, and you have an intense, involving combat system that allows you to learn more about the characters and the world in which they live. Speaking of which, let's move on to Part 2. Characters. So over the course of the game, you meet a colorful cast of quirky characters, from a joke-telling skeleton, to the bone, oh, this guy, to a badass fish warrior. All of the characters feel unique, likable, and funny. But what I find most incredible about these characters is the way that they are so instantly accessible and easy to understand, while still being incredibly deep and complex, just like real people. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at Sans the Skeleton. From the moment we meet him, it's obvious what kind of character he is. A goofy, lazy skeleton. Wow. And everything about his design, from his physical appearance, to his dialogue font, to his theme music, all come together to give us a clear, simple understanding of who he is. However, as the game progresses, we have the opportunity to learn more about him and gain a deeper understanding of his character. Let's take a look at the boss battle with Sans. Right away, it becomes apparent that we're seeing a completely different side of him. His usual theme is not playing, and he's standing completely in shadow. Soon, Sans demonstrates just how deadly serious he can be. Whoa! Dude! Ugh! Fuck! 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 Holy dicks! Then, as the fight progresses, Sans begins talking about timelines jumping left and right, stopping and starting, and reports showing massive anomalies in the space-time continuum. This is a huge revelation, as it not only tells us that Sans is somehow aware of the player's ability to save, reload, and reset the game, but it also suggests that he knows this because he is some description of scientist. And indeed, if the player is determined enough and manages to convince Sans to hand over his room key, they can find a secret underground lab where Sans was apparently able to monitor the space-time continuum itself. As the fight continues further, Sans says something that completely changes how we understand his character. And there it is. Sans isn't lazy. He's a brilliant scientist who's managed to peek behind the curtain of his own reality and see how truly pointless it all was. After all, what could possibly be accomplished when the entire world can be completely reset on a whim by some unknown entity? So he did the only thing that made sense. He gave up. All his jokes and wacky antics are really just a cover for the soul-crushing sense of fatalism he has towards life. And only a truly evil, genocidal act, such as Chara's genocide run, could possibly rouse him from his apathy. As a wise madman once said, once you realize what a joke everything is, being the comedian is the only thing that makes sense. It's this kind of complexity and depth that Undertale gives to its characters that really blows me away, and truly makes the world of Undertale feel like a living, breathing place with real characters you actually come to care about and will remember forever. Part 3. Humor. Whew, that got a little heavy, huh? Let's move on to something just a little bit lighter. So maybe this was just me, but I thought this game was absolutely hilarious. I spent pretty much my entire first playthrough actually laughing out loud. Whether I was going on a date with Papyrus... Oh, you shouldn't have! It's spaghetti! Cooking with Undyne. Holy fucking Jesus! Or just buying hot dogs. This game always managed to find new ways to make me laugh, even in places I would have never expected. Oh shit. I hope I can eat this in time. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Oh, alright. That was a nice short one. Now let's move on to the big one. Part 4. Meta-commentary and breaking the fourth wall. As anyone who's finished Undertale can likely tell you, the game gets very meta at the end. What I mean by this is characters start to acknowledge that they are in fact characters in a video game. Now, personally, I think this kind of fourth wall breaking is a brilliantly funny and clever twist to an otherwise straightforward and conventional story. But beyond that, I want to look at specifically how Undertale uses this fourth wall breaking as a means to better tell its own story. Before we get started, let's take a look at another game series with a tendency to break the fourth wall. Metal Gear Solid.
What took you so long?
Over the course of the series, there have been several times where characters have broken the fourth wall, from Snake's infinite ammo headband in Metal Gear Solid 2, to Otacon telling you to switch discs in Metal Gear Solid 4.
Snake, time to change the disc. I know, it's a pain, but you need to swap disc 1 for disc 2. You see the disc labeled 2?
No.
Huh? Oh, wait! We're on PlayStation 3. It's a Blu-ray disc. Dual layered, too. No need to swap.
Damn it, Otacon! Get a grip!
So what makes Undertale's fourth wall breaking so unique? Well, in Metal Gear Solid, the fourth wall breaks were always just like little jokes or asides, things that ultimately had no real impact on the overall narrative. In Undertale, the meta stuff forms the primary motivation for the game's antagonist. Flowey isn't just fighting you for power because he wants to kill you, quite the opposite really. Flowey just wants to stall you and force you to play longer, because he knows once you get your happy ending, you won't want to play anymore, essentially condemning him and the rest of the citizens of the underworld to death. Seriously, I can't believe I'm pitying this guy right now. This is unreal. It's pretty horrifying in like an existential kind of way. But it's the first time I've ever fought a boss whose beef was with me, the player, rather than my character. It's a really cool, unique twist that takes advantage of video games as a medium, and manages to accomplish something that simply wouldn't be possible in another medium like a film or novel. Games like Undertale, BioShock, and Spec Ops: The Line really push the limits of what's being done with video game narratives in this way, and show us the types of unique narrative experiences games are really capable of delivering.
I didn't mean to hurt anybody.
No one ever does, Luger.
I also want to take this opportunity to talk about Chara. For those of you who don't know, Chara is the evil little child who quite literally destroys the world at the end of a genocide playthrough. I want us to consider what Chara says of his relationship with the player. Christ, he's creepy. But what exactly does that mean, though? Are players evil for leveling up? For enjoying playing games? Well, to me at least, this is a jab at gamers and our apparent obsession with violence. After all, how do you go about leveling up and increasing stats? You level grind, which just means fighting. A lot. It's basically mass murder if you really think about it. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, these damn games with their shooting and killing, the violence and the whatnot, these ruining our culture and corrupting our children. But I can't be the only one who's slightly concerned by the fact that a vast majority of all games seem to feature violence and murder as a central mechanic. And again, I want to stress that this isn't necessarily a problem. I mean, I love God of War and Call of Duty as much as the next guy. But I do think this obsession with violence places unnecessary limits on the medium. Not only in terms of gameplay, but also in terms of narrative and audience. I guess what I'm trying to say is that while violence itself isn't a problem, it becomes a problem when it's the only thing you do. And I would really love to see more games explore mechanics other than violence to create engaging gameplay, like Undertale dared to do with its act menu. And that really is what makes Char's taunt so damning. The fact that, given countless opportunities to avoid violence, to spare someone, literally anyone, over the course of the game, the player, by completing a genocide run, has chosen violence every time, essentially giving in to Char and his sick, twisted desires. Part 5. End. So, yeah, that's what I think is so great about Undertale. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you didn't, I'm honestly impressed you made it this far. Nice determination. Either way, let me know what you guys think below in the comments. I really want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Don't forget to like this video if you want to see more like it, and I'll catch you guys next time.